No, I really feel completely, and I'm a little bit embarrassed for feeling this way, but completely betrayed by Robert Mueller. Completely betrayed. I don't know why I feel that way because, this was a man who actively participated to the point of being decorated in a massive war crime against the people of Vietnam. Say what you want about his Bronze Star and his this and his that. I know how we award people in this country who do the bidding of the current government and go kill people. Go kill brown people, go kill people who speak different languages, go kill people in jungles, so on and so forth. Robert Mueller participated in that. And to the last man and woman, almost everybody on both those committees acknowledged his service. His service to the country consisted of what? I'm not revising my opinion of Robert Mueller. I've never been a big fan of Robert Mueller on this program. I've never said that. But Mueller ran the FBI at a time when the black folk were and still are being fucking gunned down in the street. Mueller, I'm sorry, I cannot, I could not understand why the Democrats, people like Adam Schiff or the Blumenthal, why those people thought that Robert Mueller was going to pull the string on the trapdoor and leave Trump hanging by the neck until he couldn't breathe anymore. That was not going to happen. I mean, I don't know why more people didn't realize that. I said in the past couple of days, I think I said this, maybe I just thought it. I think I said it in this podcast, that Democrats better not get their hopes up. They better not think that Mueller is going to make some big revelation. He made it very clear that he was going to stay within, what's the new expression that I hate? The four corners of his report. And he wasn't going to deviate, and he didn't. When the Democrats and even a couple of Republicans gave him opportunity after opportunity to state categorically that Trump is a fucking gangster. He's a criminal. He violated his oath of office over and over and over again. And the evidence of conspiracy just leaps off of this report. It leapt off of the television screen this morning. Everywhere you turn is this criminal fucking Trump, this rotten son of a bitch who destroyed and is destroying the democratic process with the assistance of this goddamn Nazi attorney general of his and every little weasel Republican who sits on in the House or the Senate. This is madness. This is fucking madness. And if you try to find rational paths through this madness, you become insane yourself. There are no rational paths through this. This is where we are. And a huge part of this rests on the backs of these fucking miserable blood cult Christians who just love Trump. Where's that? Where's that piece? Where is it? Support the deepening crisis in evangelical. Oh, here it is. Last week, this was in the Atlantic. Here's the quote. Last week, about a month ago, Ralph Reed, the Faith and Freedom Coalition's founder and chairman, told the group, Faith and Freedom Coalition, quote, "There has never been anyone who has defended us and who has fought for us, who we have loved more than Donald J. Trump. No one." End fucking quote. This is Ralph Reed, the great Christian fucking Nazi leader. Let me repeat it. There's never been anyone who has defended us and who has fought for us who we have loved more than Donald J. Trump. No one. How many people in this country are Christian? 100 million? 200 million? 250 million? How many of those people are going to listen to their cult leaders on Sunday morning as we approach the election, telling them to continue to support the great President of the United States? No, I'm sorry. The author of this piece, Peter Wehner, says, for many evangelical Christians, there is no political figure whom they have loved more than Donald Trump. Here's something else he said. I recently exchanged emails with a pro-Trump figure who attended the president's re-election rally in Orlando, Florida on June 18. He spoke to me on condition of anonymity so as to avoid personal or professional repercussions. Of course. He had interviewed scores of people, many of them evangelical Christians. He told me, quote, I have never witnessed the kind of excitement and enthusiasm for a political figure in my life. I honestly couldn't believe the unswavering support they have. And to a person, it was all about the fight. There's a very strong sense that he has been wronged, Trump. Wronged by Mueller, wronged by the media, wronged by the anti-Trump forces. A passionate belief that he never gets credit for anything, end quote. Now, the people who talked to, or the person who talked to Peter Wehner here, said that the rally goers, when he was at this rally, this guy talking, told him that Trump's era is, quote, spiritually driven, end quote. That God sent Trump. When I asked whether he meant by this that Trump supporters believe God's hand is on Trump, this moment and at the election, that Donald Trump is God's man, in effect, he told me, quote, yes, people said they believe there is no other way to explain his victories. Well, of course there is. The Russians. Continuing the quote, starting with the election and continuing at the conclusion of the Mueller report, many said God had chosen him and is protecting him. You still want to stand by your statement, Kathy, that you think you think somehow we're going to pull out of this? Huh?
I guess part of me has to. I think something, the dam is going to break in some way. I keep thinking there's still SDNY cases that haven't been decided. Mueller dropped a very interesting tidbit today where he confirmed that there were still some cases that the FBI of the Trump Russia connection that were still ongoing that hadn't been decided, which I don't understand. I guess they would have been outside this report. So individuals, and I think they were even discussing possibly Jared Kushner or Trump Jr. at that point might still be under investigation. That shoe hasn't dropped. I think that there's more to come. I don't think the House Democrats are going to just let this sit. I think the president's going to continue to beat him over the head about witch hunt. I don't think it matters. I think they'll continue to call in witnesses and bring in evidence until there's an overwhelming amount of it. And I think they will impeach him eventually. I really do. And I think that then the Senate won't convict him, and that will be a telling moment. Because at that point,
What?
well, at that point, they've made a decision. I mean, they've made a definite decision that they're in bed with the enemy at that point.
Well,
And I think all the Democrats would have to do to start running campaign ads right now is to show a bunch of these Republican assholes today in Congress attacking this hero and this lifetime career public servant who had like 100% approval rating from both parties in terms of being like the most honest and trustworthy person in government. So if they want to hurl crap at him, I think the Democrats ought to use that and say, this, Devin Nunes or Jim Jordan or Collins, or go down the list, believe that Robert Mueller is a liar, and that and what do you think? I think we should vote them out. I mean, I just think that that this could go the other way. I don't understand why we keep letting them control the narrative. I don't know why we let the president control the narrative.
Because he has the bully pulpit.
Well, he has the bully pulpit, but it's not like Adam Schiff and Nadler, and it's not like we don't have Pelosi. That we're just mute. Just because he speaks louder doesn't mean that more people are listening to him.
All right. Well, I do appreciate Kathy's opinion in all this, but I have been watching this insidious influx of this Christian cultism ever since Reagan. And not because I'm brilliant, but because it was very obvious. I've been warning against it for 35 years. But that's like trying to hold back the Mississippi River. I mean, it's just, it I want to make clear again, I don't know if anybody listening to this podcast gives a shit when I try to make this clear, but I do want to make it clear. When I talk about these Christians or the Christian religion, I think all religion is bullshit of the worst kind. But I do believe there have been some figures in history around whom religions have been built who probably had no fucking intention of having a religion built around them. Of course, they were killed or executed or burned or what have you, so they wouldn't have known. But the Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, Mohandas Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, these people had messages of purity and clarity and simplicity. And inevitably, their simplicity and their clarity got them executed, one way or the other. And then the evil bastards who came after them, who said, hey, we've got a martyr now. Let's build this religion. And maybe they didn't talk that way, but let's build a following. Let's see how we can exploit this. And you come where it concerns Jesus, come forward 2,000 years, and you have these rotten, filthy, fucking destroyers who now represent the Christian religion. And they back Trump no matter what he does. Every single thing that the Rabbi Jesus said 2,000 fucking years ago, current Christians unzip their pants or lift their dresses and piss on everything that he tried to say in his 4 sermons. Everything. And these are the people who are now determining the direction, the tempo, the noise of our political system. And it's fucking horrible. And I don't see how. I don't. I don't see how the people who call themselves Americans are going to turn this around. I don't see it happening. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.